Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we say, welcome to the UFC, Michael Chandler. And we're going to take a look at the much anticipated debut of Iron Michael Chandler. This came as a request from one of our followers, and we really appreciate the feedback you guys are leaving, and we love to interact with the community. So please continue commenting, like and share the video, and keep them suggestions coming in. And of course subscribe. We really appreciate it. So, the debut was highly anticipated because Chandler had long been one of the best fighters in the world never to fight in the UFC. He did his work in Bellator instead, becoming the champion there. He had some great fights with men that touched UFC gold, such as Eddie Alvarez and Benson Henderson, and this created a lot of curiosity into how Chandler would fare against the best fighters in the world. On this night we found out. Chandler was welcomed into the UFC by none other than Dan the Hangman Hooker, a man known for great fights with 5 performance bonuses in 15 UFC fights. He is known for his creative and intelligent striking, mixed with a fantastic chin and the heart of a lion. And as Hooker said in his pre-fight press conference, I bet Chandler wouldn't have picked this fight as his debut. Fight of the night performances against the likes of Dustin Poirier and Paul Felder, as well as wins against household names such as Al Iaquinta, Gilbert Burns and Ross Pearson, gained Dan Hooker a reputation as a man that has a vast technical resources in his striking game. But when he gets touched, he's no stranger to going into the trenches. So looking at the fight, Chandler is a heavy-handed striker with great wrestling skills, and even though the fight didn't last long, Hooker was doing some interesting things to offset the skills of Chandler. First of all, he was relentlessly circling to his right, away from the right hand of Michael Chandler. Now the aim of this is to keep the fight long, make use of his frame and stature, and he does this by making the distance that Chandler has to cover significant. Covering that distance to land the takedown or use his hands becomes slightly harder when the distance is more. He was also using hip feints to reset Chandler's attacks and keep him honest. Give him something to be wary of so he doesn't just feel like he can attack recklessly. Hooker is also very seamless in his transitions between the stances. We see him switch to southpaw, step through with a non-committed rear hand, just to step back into orthodox again and reset the rules of engagement. We also see him miss with a low kick, step into southpaw, land the left leg on the inside of Chandler, and then circle off in orthodox again. Very nice work from Hooker. And now over to Iron Michael, a student of Henry Hooft, a legendary Dutch kickboxing trainer of greats like Tyrone Spong. These guys characterise their system with the acronym KISS, which stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. The system prides itself on lots of drilling which builds solid fundamentals. We see Chandler enter the contest very light on his feet, always ready to explode in with his hands. We also see him convey to Hooker that he is always ready to go for the takedown also. He does this by feinting with his body position and feet, as well as threatening to catch the kicks of Hooker. Chandler applies intelligent pressure by pressuring forward, and the reason it's intelligent is he's still ready to back up when Hooker shows the intention to meet him with something on the way in. Chandler starts to invest heavily in the fast right hand to the body. This draws Hooker's hands down to protect. It also draws Hooker's attention to the body, as the anticipated damage works as a great conditioning tool. The right hand works very well off the low body feint. And also from this body position, Chandler can threaten the right hand, but he can also threaten a takedown. Now, one thing that should be said is Hooker is very used to carrying his hands fairly low. He looks to use his eyes and feet to keep the range so that it looks like he is undefended, but really he's just out of range and he's ready to try and catch you on the way in. He's just trying to bait you essentially into attacking his perceived openness. Another factor in MMA that is if the hands are lower and closer to the hips and be used in the grappling ranges that the fight may transition to at any moment. This was something that made Anderson Silva very hard to take down. Because his hands were low, he was ready to get them there very quickly. In MMA, low hands can be used for takedown defense. But the threat up top also has to be acknowledged. The takedown threat, investment in the body to condition a reaction, mixed in with Hooker's reliance on his feet for safety, they all led to Hooker being open for an explosive 2-3 combination that finished the fight. The 2 is the same right hand we've been seeing over and over again, and he mixed it in with a left hook up top as Hooker tried to wheel out of range, a combination that was no doubt drilled many times on the pads. Explosiveness is just well-developed muscle memory, and the way Chandler moves shows us that he is very well drilled and a servant to the grind. In this fight, Chandler achieved a finish that many other prominent UFC fighters could not. He iced Dan the Hangman Hooker, and this is a victory that could set him up for mouthwatering clashes with the likes of Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor, and the rematch with Dustin Poirier. Here at the Beauty of Combat, we cannot wait.